Mig, what'd you think when you heard for the first time that Garry has decided to play against the greatest supercomputer designed for chess in the planet? What did you think?
Well, it started, again, for those in the chess community, and I've been following chess and following Garry's career long before we met in 1998, this was an ongoing saga. It wasn't a big surprise. It was a natural step. It was big news because we all knew in the chess community that Deep Blue was the strongest thing out there, and this was the first time that a world champion had conceded to play at real professional grade chess. And this is where we become kind of meta as far as describing things in the book. How much chess terminology do you include without freaking people out? Because they already have to deal with the artificial intelligence terminology and the computer technology, and then you're kind of like, you start talking about classical chess and blitz chess and rapid chess, and you can just, I can see your eyes glazing over now. It's the same thing. But this was World Championship standard chess match. That was completely different. He'd already played, he'd already even lost to chess computers. We knew they were very strong. Everybody knew that they could, but classical chess, what we call it, the 6-hour game with full preparation, and this is where, humans still, we knew had a big advantage, and could this thing really play world championship caliber chess? And so we were all really delighted, I think. There were some people who were horrified, this is a spectacle. You had some older people. I think just about anybody who was really an active chess fan thought this was just going to be great PR for the game, that this was going to be great. And continuing this experiment, it was the logical next step to play classical chess at a world championship standard against the world champion. And so I think everyone was really excited by it.
But when this watershed moment, when this watershed moment arrives, when Garry, I think the third game that you lost, is the third or second game, the first time around?
Which match?
The first match? The
Right.
first match? In 1996, the first match, he lost the very first game.
Okay, the very first.
We played, 2 matches. The first match, so I won 4-2, but I lost game 1 and then won three games and just ended up 4-2. The second match I won game 1, then I lost 2 games, and it's ended up 3.5, 2.5 in machine's favor. But if we're speaking about the watershed moment, it's not New York, actually, it's Philadelphia.
Wow.
Because I lost the world champion, the current world champion, lost to a machine again. That's it. It's like a sign on the wall. It could have taken 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, but it was clear that the machine was able to win a classical chess game against the world champion. It's about one game. From the scientific perspective, the game was over in Philadelphia, despite the fact that I came back, I fought hard, and I won the match. But the rest was just a matter of time. So I still think that, again, being objective, when you just look at the games, at the quality of the games, and you can analyze them with modern engines. And by the way, this is something that people should realize, and it often comes as a shock for the audience, that the free chess app on your mobile device is stronger than Deep Blue. It's a fact. It's a Moore's law, better algorithms. It's just, and I'm not even talking about chess engines like Stockfish or Commodore on a dedicated hardware. They are just, it's a different universe. So now, just to give you an idea about the strength, we can use ratings that gives pretty good indication about the strengths of the players. So let's say go back to Bobby Fischer in 1972, he was way ahead of everybody with 2785, 2,785. And nobody actually at that time was in even 2700 category. So I crossed 2800 in 1990. My highest rate was 2851. Again, inflation helped, but it just had a pretty high result. Yeah. Magnus Carlsen even went a bit higher, 2872. Now he dropped to 2830 because it's hard to play at this level. So today you have top players. If you look at top 10, they will be ranging from 2830 to 2780. So roughly, that's the. Now, chess engines today, that's what I mentioned, like Stockfish or Commodore on a special hardware, they will play probably at the strengths of 33 to 3400. The gap between these engines and Magnus Carlsen is the same as between Magnus Carlsen and But again, it's not that machines play perfectly. It's just about steady hand. It's about not making the same mistakes, because all humans are making mistakes, and that's why it's nobody can sustain this pressure. Nobody can play with the same precision and vigilance that is required to survive against a machine. Deep Blue, objectively, when we analyze the games by using these engines that are so powerful, in 1997 played, I would say, at the level of 2700 to 2750, which was still below my ideal rating, which was over 2800. But it doesn't matter what was my rating on paper. It's how I played in the match. And that's why in the book, I confess that I was a sore loser. But I blamed the idea management for creating conditions where human player was vulnerable. So they couldn't make Deep Blue play over 2800. But certain things that happened in the match brought my strengths below, and I made a few blunders that I didn't have to make. But again, scientifically speaking, it didn't matter, because it was clear it would take a bit more time, 2-3 years. Actually, I played 2 more matches with other computers, chess engines, in 2003, and both ended up as a draw, so 2-2 and 3-3. So technically speaking, we were still close, but roughly around year 2005, it was over. So, and we have to give credit for Deep Blue scientific team for just creating a very, very powerful machine. Okay, hiring a lot of grandmasters and teaching it how to play chess. And it surprised me in the second match. My preparation was lousy, because I didn't expect them to make so much progress from the first match to the second one. So Deep Blue played stronger, and it put a lot of pressure on me, and under conditions that were in the match that was not the conditions were not too fair. But at the end of the day, it's water on the bridge, my fault. It's one of the biggest problems is that is when you sign a contract, you have to read the fine print. Yeah, and after the first match in Philadelphia, I knew my problem was that I didn't have access to any Deep Blue games. And it's impossible to play with your opponent without having any information about his or her ability, in this case, its ability. Yeah, I demanded I would have access to the games, and they said, of course, fine, it's in the contract. But the fine print said the games played in official competitions. And of course, Deep Blue hasn't played a single game outside the lab. So that's why I made the same black box in 1997, which again, didn't help. But again, going back to science, it was just it was one-way street, and that's why I reached the conclusion after the match that when they refused to play the rematch, and I was trying to lure them even saying I would put my title just as a prize, but they were objective, and I was upset. I'm still upset, but I understand the rationale of the corporation that won the match, had the sort of great rise in their stock prices, and a lot of glory, and this is the publicity for that brought a lot of young talent in the corporation. And they knew that objectively, probably I would still, favor it, and I would be much better prepared. So that's why they made a good decision from a corporate point of view. It was betrayal of science, but from the corporate point of view, it was a good decision.